Hello, Keith, and Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all of our listeners. I think of how Archbishop Sheen has been so good to us over the years. Every Christmas season, bringing us thought-provoking meditations to keep us focused on what is real, what is most important. He said so many times, unless souls are saved, nothing is saved. And so he still wants to save our souls, even in the year 2025. And I want to share with you just two meditations today that I think will help set the record straight, keep us focused. We've been talking about the shepherds, the wise men, the innkeepers. And Fulton Sheen wants to remind us again, okay, let us be good shepherds, good wise men, and good innkeepers. And so he's going to share with us this morning, again, some challenging passages to kind of get us on the right track for 2025. And he wants us to pretend we're the modern day wise men. And we've been invited to Bethlehem to come and, meet with St. Joseph. And what will we bring and what would we want to experience? And so let me share with you this meditation now. Archbishop Sheen writes, he says, G.K. Chesterton wrote about three wise men, modern wise men. They came to the great city of peace, which they deeply yearned to enter. They knew there were certain conditions of passing into that blessed Bethlehem. The first brought gold, cold and yellow, which buys most of the pleasures of the earth. The second brought not frankincense, but the modern science of scent, chemistry, with its power of drugging the natural consciousness, controlling the soil of the earth, and its surplus population. We've heard that before. The third brought myrrh, which symbolized death. It was a fissioned atom which could turn any city which opposed peace into a Hiroshima of destruction. These three wise men met Joseph at the gate of the palace of peace. Joseph examined their gifts and refused them entrance. They asked, what could we possibly need yet to assure peace other than that which buys affluence, controls nature, and blackouts the enemies of peace? Joseph, we brought it all. We brought everything. Well, Joseph then whispered in the ear of the one what he had forgotten. And then he whispered in the other ears of these other two wise men what they also forgot. And they went away sad. The wise men realized they forgot the child. They forgot the child. Unless we bring the child Jesus, unless we bring Jesus into our life, there'll be no peace. We can have all the money in the world, all the power in the world, the science, the technology. We can have, again, a military superpower. But if we don't have the child, we have nothing. We have nothing. And, we've been sharing, of course, this little plea with you, our listeners, to get an image of the Christ child in your life. And again, many of you have taken up this beautiful challenge and started to develop this holy habit of having an image of the babe in your home. And, I was thinking over the holidays, we were all singing Christmas carols together. And on the radio came that one song that's quite popular. It's titled, Mary, Did You Know? And it says in one of the lines of the song, Mary, did you know that when you kissed your babe, you kissed the face of God? Well, I just started to tear up because I thought, this is all about the beatific vision and seeing God face to face. And so naturally, I planted a kiss on my image and just thought, wow, one day, God willing, I'll get to kiss the face of God. And of course, he will kiss me and he'll kiss all of us. I pray that all of us get to heaven and all of us will experience the beatific vision together. What a great joy. But we can practice here on earth by venerating and honoring these beautiful images of the Christ child. So there we go. Let's not forget the child. Let's not forget the child. All right. Now, Sheen wants to talk about the fallout. And again, he's going to kind of get us thinking here. But again, he'll let us down easy at the end. But he will give us some focus here. So Sheen writes, once upon a time, men lived in fear. They were afraid of war, not so much one on earth or land or sea, but a war against what is evil in their own hearts. The war dreaded was not nuclear, but moral. It was not a threat of what might be destroyed on the outside, but of what might be changed within. Everyone knew that war would begin with a flash of light descending from heaven. And one night that light appeared. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The light produced a terrific fallout of celestial energy in the form of grace, forgiveness, salvation, faith, and love. It penetrated not so much bodies and cells as hearts and souls. It made new creatures, even though men were living like animals. It turned crooked tax collectors into honest men, stargazers into theologians, bigots into apostles, and shepherds into kinsmen of kings. But somehow or other, men were afraid that that great light would reveal their dark motives, their evil lives, their adulteries, and their petty thieveries. To protect themselves from the fallout, which was counter to their habits, they did not build bomb shelters. They drove the light of the world into the darkness of a cave. Hotel managers protected themselves from the fallout of charity by posting up a "no room in the inn" sign. Heads of governments pretended to be friendly, but unsheathed swords so that the light that came into the world gave an eternal crown could not steal away their tinsel ones. Ah, we see that still today, eh? All classes were in flight from the fallout, but two: shepherds who suddenly felt like lost sheep and started in search of a shepherd of their lives, and wise men who suddenly became foolish by believing a star more than the politician Herod. Both exposed themselves to the fallout and entered the cave of Bethlehem, where the shepherds found the Lamb, who is a shepherd, and the wise men found truth. Huddled into the shelter was a beautiful woman, her escort an ox, an ass, and the light who was a babe. Now, in the 21st century, the cave has once more come into its own. The refugees are no longer on the earth. They seek shelter under it. It is still the light that is feared, but not the light of God, but a flame ignited by men. The fallout which terrorizes is the tiniest thing in the universe. It's an atom. Governments, publicists, commentators urge citizens and their neighbor to bore like moles into the bowels of the earth. Some even urge using violence to resist an intruder. Into what strange cycle has light taken us? We drove one light into the cave, and not a light we made, but one that made us. Now we crawl into a cave in awe of a light our own hands have fashioned. Is there any connection between our lighted atom and the light of the world? We believe there is. As soon as man ceases to fear God, he begins to fear his fellow man. As soon as the conscience no longer whispers that someone is looking and we will have to right the wrong, that it begins to shrink in terror from the neighbor. The true fear of God is not servile, but filial, not the dread of a cruel master, but a reverse lest we displease one whom we love and who loves us. Such is a fear a devoted son has for his father. But when Cain ceased to fear God, He feared being killed by his fellow man. A guilty conscience imagines scepters and frightful troubles which never bother the man with an easy conscience. It is very likely that the hysteria of fear about what our neighbor may do to us in relation to the state of our conscience, the more hidden, repressed, or even denied guilt we have, the more we live in fear. Our problem then is not only to protect ourselves against others, but how to protect ourselves against ourselves. It is not because they are anti-God that we have to fear. It is because we are allowing God and the Christian virtues to pass out of our lives. No sooner did the angel appear to the shepherds of Bethlehem, and the glory of God shone around them, that they were sorely afraid. The light frightened them, but the angel said to them, "Fear not." And why fear not? Because a Savior is born. Not a teacher, not a social reformer, not an ethical leader. Fear not, because redemption from sin is available. The Christmas tree is the cross. The gift hanging on it is the Savior who died that we might live. Christmas never seems to change. It is ever the problem of light, a cave, and a fallout. My dear friends, may this fallout that has happened 2,000 years ago affect us in a beautiful way. Let us remember that the Christmas tree is the cross, and hanging on that cross is our Savior. And again, what a great gift we have received, to receive a Savior. And so, my dear friends, on behalf of all of us here at Bishop Sheen today and Holy Face Miracle, we want to wish you a blessed and holy new year.